Hey, how's everyone doing today? Want to do a quick sound check, make sure the mic's coming through, make sure the music's coming through. Perfect. I'm glad your speakers are working today. I'm just kidding. And of course, I left the lens cap on. We're good though, we fixed it. Welcome back, everyone, to Mapmaker Monday. Hope you had an amazing weekend. If it's your first time here, hello, my name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. And if it's your, you're a repeat customer, welcome back, friends. My damn fam, my damn nation, if you will, my damily. Appreciate you all being here on this lovely Monday. It is now 9 in the morning for me. That means it's roughly 12 p.m. on the East Coast and about 4 p.m. UTC. So the day is coming along and beginning of a new week. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Throughout the stream, we will be focusing work on this map, which is quite vast. It is a project I kind of wish I never started at this point, but I'm committed. I'm in it to win it. We're going to finish it someday. Anyway, we work on it every Monday for about a half hour while you and the community can watch, learn, commiserate, give me ideas, share suggestions, or you can alternatively get support, ask questions, share information about a bug you may have experienced. Maybe you have feedback or suggestions for the dev team. During the stream, if you have anything you need from me, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist, I will gladly stop what I'm doing and answer your question, address your concern, provide you with as much information as I can. So please, if you do have any questions, concerns, suggestions, feedback, anything like that, please let me know in chat at any time and I'll do my best to address it. I don't know why TikTok is not loading for me. Like the chat won't load. I'm hoping no one's saying anything over there or I'd feel awful. Okay, finally loaded. We have got all the platforms now. Run amok, what up, dude? How you doing? Weird looking mind flare. It's more like a fish. So how's everyone doing today? Hope you had an amazing weekend. I spent some time doing some packing and prep for my trip. Got pretty much everything that I can, at least now, packed. I was going to be doing like some laundry and some last minute stuff today and tomorrow. I pick up my car rental tomorrow, kind of inspect it, make sure it's all good. So I have some time the day before instead of just grabbing it right before I leave town. And yeah, that's kind of part of my weekend. That's the RL part. I spent some other parts like looking at my character for D&D. I had a bit of gold burning a hole in my pocket, so I spent some money. We do downtime shopping in our campaign. We just have to ask the DM if it's appropriate in the area we're at. We're in a pretty big city, so almost anything we want is available. Quite a few magic shops and stuff like that. So, and our benefactor also has stuff on hand. So anyway, long story short, I got myself some items. Weird. Got some weird static. Hold on. I guess it was just part of the song. I had to take my hat off just to hear better. And that kind of special. Honestly, I don't know why, but I'm like very influenced by tactile. So if something is like too loud or too present touching me, or if it's a weird sensation, I also like kind of freeze up and can't think. So while that was on my head, I couldn't listen intently, I guess. I don't know why. So looking at the cemetery that we've been kind of diving into for the last few months, this is the area we're in now, which is I call the sardine can. And I think it was actually Mondu who gave it that nickname first, and then we kind of just stuck with it. But it's essentially, graves for the masses, pauper graves. They're essentially very tightly packed in due to their financial situation being very, grim to non-existent. So that's what these are. Would have if my audio for Dungeon Delvers didn't sound like a 500-pound man running a marathon. What do you mean by that, Run Amok? Mother's Day was moved to yesterday over here, so that was your weekend. Well, I hope you spent some time with your mother, or at least gave her a phone call. Or one of those kind of things. Slowly started to scheme my next D&D session. Thankfully, after what was almost a massive derail, we ended on track with 2 primeval or owl bears attacking the party. Why would they? Wow. Why would they attack the party's boat? Like any particular reason? Did they provoke this? Food? Oh. You could smell the food. Ah, I see. Didn't you tell me it doesn't your group have a folding boat, or is that not your group? Oh no. So Run Amok, some things to help with that. So a pop filter, this little guy here, they sell them on like Amazon. They're pretty universal. They'll like clamp on the like arm of your mic, or sometimes right onto the mic. That helps with like a clicking sound in your voice. Another thing you can do is a noise gate filter, which is something usually done digitally in your recording software or like in OBS or Streamlabs. I do that for the stream, and what it does is it doesn't catch anything unless it's over a certain amount of decibels. So it won't catch like the fan. It doesn't catch like the air conditioning. When my 3D printers are running, you don't hear them. What you hear is when I am very audibly talking. So I kind of have trained my voice to talk at a certain threshold. And then if it's under that, you have a hard time hearing it. You know what I mean? Using a headset mic, Well, I mean, still, that stuff those filters will still help with getting rid of voice or breathing and stuff. It'll only catch the louder talking instead of the breathing. But you could also pull the mic a bit away from your face, stuff like that. The type of mic really, I mean, it shouldn't matter at the end of the day if you set the filters correctly. Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's build the path down, I guess, a little bit so we continue down the sardine can. What I really want to do is kind of start on this side too, adding in graves. I was going to wait a minute though until I kind of, well, I guess we're down to this gate, so we might as well start. Need to figure out what to do in this space. Okay. I'm thinking the same pattern going down, just, you know, keep the row thing going. I might add some columbariums here because then I can do more and more rows. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Let's look at some columbariums. Got these bad boys, right? And then kind of big, but I'll shrink it down. Flip it around. Might even make it smaller than that. We could fit like several of them. Ah, add snap point. So you can either kind of merge them like that. Oh, so close to. Kalali, how you doing? Welcome back. By the way, if you are new to the stream, I just want to say hello and welcome. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is the software you're seeing in front of you, the map making tool and immersion utility that is available on Steam. During the stream, we're building a map that is an ancient cemetery. It's quite an extensive map I've been working on for a little bit, but the point of it is you get to kind of watch and learn live and kind of educate yourself on Dungeon Alchemist's ins and outs. But we're multi-streaming on many platforms right now. I think 6 different platforms: Twitch, Facebook, Steam, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and I think that's it. Anyway, it is an amazing map making software. But when I say that, I kind of sound a little biased, don't I? This is the new mic more. Look at it. It's got so much like motion. I think it's got like 5 or 6 axes of motion. And it's got a touch sensitive mute that's right there. So if I just tap that, it'll mute, which is great. It's got volume control right on it. I think it's a fantastic mic. Yeah, I guess. But I also, when I want to people to get like a more objective opinion, I usually rely on our community to kind of share their insight on Dungeon Alchemist and their experience with it. I think that's fair. Now, I can give a very, advanced tutorial or detailed insight, how to. At the same time, if I give a review, I would expect people to take it with a grain of salt. Honestly, I mean, do you hear the fan in my room or the AC right now? Yeah, because I'm dope at setting up mics. But this mic is also really good, so it kind of helps. I could have my like dog in here. Like if someone was 5 feet away talking, you probably couldn't hear them. I essentially have set up what's called a noise gate filter that picks up the mic, the sound right around this area, kind of like a bubble. And if it's not loud enough or like just near enough, it doesn't pick it up. Oh, NVIDIA broadcast is great too. Unfortunately, so this is my predicament here, Giorgio. So my graphics card on my stream PC is it's a tank. It's a trooper. It's a GTX 1080 Ti, and I've had it for like 8-9 years now, and it's still running. But the problem is, last I checked, the NVIDIA broadcast at that aspect of the software is not compatible with my card. At least it wasn't when I last checked. The funny thing is I have like a 4070 Ti on my like Dungeon Alchemist computer, and that runs it just fine, but that's not where the audio is piping in because I've got a two PC setup. Noise gates work really well. Yeah, exactly. So like my TI, until it craps out, which it's a trooper. I love it. I'm still happy with it. And for my stream PC, it's great. But I definitely will upgrade to something that can support that. Those, oh my gosh, the filter that NVIDIA has is insane. They were doing like a hair dryer right at it and you couldn't hear it. Honestly, Rev, I think this mic is a great investment. I wouldn't tell anyone to go spend tons of money, but I think it's great. Like, you could definitely get a good mic for around $100 and it would last you forever if you treat it good. By the way, Giorgio, welcome to the stream. Yeah, sorry you caught us when we were just discussing my new mic. I just got it this last week. So I'm kind of enjoying it. My previous mic I'd had on something like 20 years, maybe 18 to 20 years. Rev, what are you using to record with? Like, are you recording using something like OBS or Streamlabs? Most of the time you pop in to watch, so we got you lurking, but today we got you with a mic. It's just, we talk about such random stuff. We're going to get to everyone eventually. I'm glad you hopped in the combo, and honestly, feel free to watch and do your thing. You're under no obligation to join the conversation unless you want to. OBS is a great tool, and I can walk you through setting up a mic filter. Mitch, thank you for the like over on Facebook. And Crit Crafters, ooh, I like that name. Interesting. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Much appreciated. Okay, let's get to building. I'm going to add stacks of columbariums. Rows. This is going to be even more packed in. Oh my, I watched Andor, so good. I highly recommend y'all watch it. That's all I'm going to say. Can't talk about it because I know it's still spoilers for many. Rev, you can also, if you open OBS right now, man, I'll walk you through it. I can open OBS on my computer and kind of show you. I don't use OBS for streaming at all. I use it for recording. So I get you. Okay, we need to make sure this is uniform. I need a path down these. I'm thinking these stones. Way. Oh, geez, Giorgio. I really want to like it, but there's too much random non-relevant filler. I mean, it gets difficult to talk about Dungeon Alchemist exclusively for hours on end, especially when you bounce on the same topic over and over again. But that's kind of part of the reason there's filler. Now that being said, I can agree there. There are moments where there are things that are like completely not relevant. We tend to try and stay on topic of tabletop gaming for the most part, but we do get into pop culture a bit. Oh, you were talking about Andor? My bad, I misread that. Honestly, I think they were just trying because they only had one more season to make it kind of like a thing to fill in between season 1 and Rogue One. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. I one thing I laughed about was like all the time skips. So this one here, let's watch. I'm trying to make them cramped. That's kind of the point. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Could be a little bit more open. You finished watching it last night? Nice. Hey, Zesty Luffy, how you doing? I do one thing I noticed is they kind of went like a it's reminiscent of old like CG in like TV CG and shows like Stargate and Farscape, where they would do like a little cut frame thing that would show like some spaceships going in the distance. They did a lot of those simple frame type shots in this season, and some of the CG for like, for instance, the ships was kind of not as high quality as you're used to seeing. But I feel like at the same time they did such a great job at like melding out the universe around this space, with like practical effects and also like really good set design. Hey, John Doom, how you doing, buddy? Trying to find the right distance for this. That just seems like too wide. You don't need to be like walking like this with your hands out. I'm thinking about 3 feet was the right kind of distance there. I'll just kind of center these stones a little. These. Sorry if I'm talking to myself. I'm trying to figure. The spacing on this side is something, once I get it right, I'll be able to kind of replicate it like I've done this. West portal? West portal. Let me think for a moment. I have not heard of them. Like, I'm thinking about it. I've heard of a lot of things. It sounds like a content creator program where you might do like videos and content for them, and then they pay you? Is that what it is? It sounds like something like that. I could be wrong though. Just from the name, that's the implication. Or maybe they like have video game keys and something like that. What is it, John? What is it more? Honestly, like I am kind of curious now. I've not heard of it before, and I'm not gonna like just Google it just to make sure. Because now I'm curious and I want you to tell me. Let's see. Hello, Mackinac. I really love this handcrafted path that you did. Hey, thank you, Psycho Machine. Honestly, like, it's a lot of work. Someone's got to do it. Campaign manager. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so it's a website where essentially maybe can you like send in your like audio recordings and it will like turn it into notes, or does it have like mind maps and stuff like that? That sounds interesting though. Sorry, it sounded like one of those content creator like not like, I don't know, they're kind of exploitative, but they're like a website that tries to get content creators to sign up, and they'll send them like a key for a game and get like tons and tons of content out of them. It's frustrating. But I'm glad it's not that. Edge there. Huh. So it's actually a VTT. Interesting. Gotcha. Yeah, I've never heard of them. That's cool though. Check it out, man. That's really awesome. Garbage Man arrived. Hear the big garbage truck outside of my poor garbage can is getting manhandled right now. Honestly, yeah, dude, you got to do your due diligence as a content creator. A lot of those people are either A, like trying to farm data, or B, I mean, there's some that are exploitative or like, you know, I don't know. But that's awesome. They reached out to you for like a campaign. Really cool. And it's very, very good of you to do your due diligence like that and just kind of be careful. Where did the... Man, the snap points are atrocious. That's really cool. Does it run DA maps pretty good? Like, I'm assuming it uses JPEG and MP4 and stuff. What are the green objects even for? Good question. That's a good question. So the green objects are what we call abstract objects, and they allow you to insert custom images into them. So they're blank slates that you can put whatever you want into them. So let's put this map image in there, for instance. Once you open or drop one of these on your map, you can click this template icon. It loads a page on our website, and it's full of these like templates for these various green objects, if you will. And each one of them represents a different object in that menu. But if you follow those templates, then you can fill out these spaces and make custom walls, custom floor pieces, pillars, square pieces, magic circles, etc. They're essentially just fill in the blanks, whatever you want them to be. Yeah, I mean, one thing people use them for is they'll put a PNG in them that's invisible, like a blank PNG, and then they use it as kind of like a platform to put all their objects on. That's an invisible platform that they can move around. It also can act as a green screen, yes. The worst part about columbariums is I gotta fill in all of these eventually. No, what have I done? Here, Rev, one moment. I know you were asking. You're still here, right? I remember we were talking about OBS. So you're in OBS, right? You go to the audio mixer. If you have any audio devices, which in this case I don't have any, and well, yeah, I don't have any in here because I don't record audio with it. I only record screen. In this case, but you could, if you had an audio device, right click on it, and then there's filters for the audio devices. You know what? I'll just add. Let me. I think I hid them all because I wasn't using it here. Disable, disable, disable. That's what I did. Now we have a source. So if you right click on a mic source, in this case your mic, you go to filters, and then if there's no filters by default, you click plus, and then there's all these filters under there, and the one I'm more partial to is noise gate. You can combine several filters, but this one is fantastic. So essentially what this is it's a threshold where your voice will get captured if it's between these two. If it's below it or above it, it tends not to trigger the mic. And then it'll stay open for so much time, and then close after so much time. So essentially it kind of automates a way to get rid of, you know, background light noise like fans, air conditioning, animals, kids, stuff like that. Now, if they end up getting loud, it'll still kind of cut into it, but this helps tremendously. Always lurking. So right click on the audio source in the audio mixer, right? And then go to filters and then add noise gate. Now for your noise gate settings, you're going to have to play around with it, kind of tinker with it until you get it just right. Unfortunately, noise suppression I found is hit or miss though. Sometimes you'll be talking and then it won't work because it thinks you need to be suppressed. It can be very aggressive. The Discord one always frustrates me. I disabled it because I'd be talking and all of a sudden it would mute me. I'm like, come on, just my voice. This is my voice. Anyway, enough about OBS. Let's talk about maps. Notice those rows are like way sunk into that. What was I doing? What are those? Much better. I'm learning how to build this whole setup as I go because I've never done anything this expensive when it comes to, like, I mean, done quite a bit. Don't get me wrong. Like, this whole area is quite a bit. Like, this map is huge. It's huge. One moment. Let me show you the top down. Nice. That's really cool, Rev. What's going wrong, more? Oh. He's having trouble adding someone. Gotcha. But this is the entire map, right? And it started over in this kind of corner here. Then I laid out the road by hand. Got several massive cemetery plots, and then we're adding this whole area here will just be small all the way down. Maybe it's because YouTube just doesn't like you today, more. It could be any number of things. Have you thought of adding more interwebs? Listen, it's a simple matter. The intertubes are all clogged. Did you happen to remember to feed the hamsters? Right? You know those really thin wires you have for your internet? If you hook up something bigger, like let's say like a garden hose to your wall, clearly much bigger, allowing a larger flow. Oh my gosh. Hey, Moore, I was going to reach out to you, man. Honestly, like, I don't want you to feel like any pressure or anything. We'll talk about this more later. Like, we were just like doing this, you know, event for an experiment for fun, and realistically, it's not like you're under any type of, I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, you're not, like, I'm not expecting you to get any sort of results. Let's just say I'm not going to hold it again. TikTok's algorithm is so like fickle. Fickle. It's about as fickle as gravity. No, it's just really hard to read. You know, you need to be like you need to be able to like understand and read the bones to be able to. Need an augury and a divination. just to be able to understand the algorithm. Walk for the tick of the talk, for the ticky talk. Kids and their newfangled electro scooters and hoverboards and ticky talks. Tiki talks. When I was a kid, we had tiki torches. Now they've got tiki talks. Honestly, like it's funny to try and act like an older generation being upset about that stuff, but I just laugh. This is vanilla, my friend. Psycho Machine, this is a stone. That's very helpful, right? If you go to objects and then go to structural, it's down under ruins. There's a whole bunch of like broken ones and also non-broken ones. But all I did was sink it into the ground a little bit. I disabled collisions and dropped it down in a little. I've been resizing this and using it all over for pathways. I also did another pathway over here. This is a column. It's like a pillar. Sank it into the ground. These like borders here, that's just a wall, like a half wall. These are bollards that are sunk down. Yeah, I mean, I just think of an asset, you know, it's not just the whole thing. It can be different things if it's, you know, sunk into the ground or merged together. It can be different assets, you know what I mean? So that's kind of my style of building. I really enjoy doing that. Making different stuff out of the stuffs I've got. So the initial generation of any biome is done at random, like all the texture mashups are done at random using the proc AI. So, by the way, this is good for you to know more because I saw a comment on your video about it. So, Dungeon Alchemist, okay, when we started Dungeon Alchemist and started developing it years and years ago, AI wasn't even like a concept that people considered or cared about. Like it was in video games and it managed a lot of automation in our lives, and we just knew it was there but didn't really care about it. And a lot of people, you know, wasn't something people used in their day-to-day life like they do as much now. Generative AI kind of hit the market a few years after, like very popularly after Dungeon Alchemist launched into early access. So the AI in Dungeon Alchemist is last gen, is what we like to call it. It's procedural generation, which is then uses our internal AI to generate environments and fill rooms. It's been entirely developed and trained in-house, so there's no external influence that trains it, no maps, no assets, no art. So basically very ethically sourced, ethically trained, and all the assets that are used in our AI So anywhere you generate an environment or a room, any of the assets used in it were created by our talented team of artists. So at no point are any assets from the workshop used in the, room generation or environment generation. So now, no worries. That honestly, dude, I kind of the thing about AI, it's a hot button right now, right? So like we understand like a lot of people get very like just let's just say on edge about the topic. And with reason, it's kind of this cutting edge thing that people are worried might take away a lot of jobs and security, and kind of hand over a lot of power from the many to the few. And it's kind of scary watching it happen in real time. Now, that being said, I do think there is lots of AI that is ethically used and very, very useful and helpful. You have AI around you all the time, every day, and you don't even realize it. The things managing like your street lights in your town, like there is AI systems behind that detect cars, detect traffic and changes, and adjust the lights automatically. And then they talk to the lights down the street. Do you think there's this like whole system of AI underlying our entire infrastructure in our world, and people don't really care about it as long as it's not in their face or maybe taking over their job. You know what I mean? So I do think as long as AI is ethically sourced and used responsibly and used for the betterment of mankind, it's great. Now enough about my AI rant. Dungeon Alchemist, is the team of 10 people. It's not like we're some big startup, and it's definitely not like we have hundreds of servers running constantly. You actually use and generate everything locally from your own computer. So you actually your computer is what runs the AI. So everything about it from end to end is ethical. You know what I mean? As much as it can be. Anyway. But yeah, Gen AI, I think, is where the issue lies. But a lot of people don't distinguish the difference. They just see AI and automatically, go for the throat, so to speak. And I'm all for people defending their work, their livelihood. But I also encourage like discussion that is reasonable and calm and yeah, that is a good way to put it. But I like to explain it end to end, because saying stuff like that is kind of, I don't know, people could consider it kind of rude, but also coming from me at least. But at the same time, it also is, what's the term when you break something down into simple terms, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. You can barely hear me on YouTube? Weird. Anyone else having this trouble on YouTube? Did you try turning up your YouTube? Maybe your YouTube is turned down or muted? Honestly, yeah, no. The second I heard you say AI in the video, I knew you were going to get comments like that. AI is such a hot button issue. Like, it really is. I'll be honest with you more. I'll probably respond to them later. I've just been kind of busy this last weekend. I was kind of sick all weekend and also planning for my vacation. So just been either laying down or packing. So Psycho Machine, one of our developers, Wim, spends a lot of time training the AI by making tons of room variations, designs, that he then feeds into the AI to train it. Essentially, how a lot of AIs learn is they do things over and over and over again, right? They repeat processes over and over and over again until they learn them. So we cut out that step by making a lot of the room variations ourselves. So it doesn't have to do all that, right? And then we give it a bunch of variations, and then it learns from those, and then it uses it to generate styles of rooms, different styles, so to speak. I mean, yeah, I'd rather you just not have to deal with the headache. You know what I mean? To be honest, I'm kind of ashamed I didn't even tell you. So I like, it's just one of those things that slips my mind from time to time. The AI branding in Dungeon Alchemist used to be very prevalent. And in the last couple of years, we've toned it down significantly because we're trying to distance ourselves from the more unethical, toxic AIs out there. Yeah. So Wim essentially, anytime we get a new room, Wim will make all these random room shapes, fill them in with objects, and try to make it make sense, and then send it. That'll be plugged in to program the AI, and it's essentially like a bunch of punch cards. Each room is a punch card, and then it uses that as a basis. It doesn't just copy it; it shuffles a bunch of rooms together to make a new room. It's not just that. People in our community would just get kind of like would jump to conclusions about our AI without asking questions, and they'd like once or twice a week we'd get a tirade in our Discord. Someone's like, I can't believe you guys use AI. How dare you take away work from artists, and then like leave the Discord, and we're like, wait, what? We didn't do anything like that. We never did. Yes, it does come up with crazy combos, and sometimes it gets hung up on certain designs. Like I've noticed if the room is over a certain size, for instance, and it's like, for instance, a kitchen or like a school room or something, it'll put like a ton of tables and a ton of desks because the AI is trained on smaller rooms primarily. That Wim will make small rooms, normal size rooms, and train our AI locally with that. So as a result, a lot of larger rooms, it kind of weirds out and doesn't know what to do. But the AI is always evolving too, because we're constantly training it with each new update. Basically, this next update, AI is getting major overhauls and improvements. The load times are getting an overhaul and improvement. Right now, one of our lead devs has been spending time going through all the code to clean it up and make DA like more lean, so it runs more efficiently, faster load times, increased performance. And then, like I just said, Wim has been working on basically improving the room generation around all the shenanigans with what might be done with multi-level in the next update. Which question, Pyro? Do you mean, will the light leak into the room in the next update? Or, sorry, I want to make sure I understand what you're saying here. I mean, sometimes it does have good placements, Rev, right? Like if you let it generate, it usually cooks okay. And then I'll change a few things or add a few details to make it feel more lived in. Like it's almost like it's a set, or it was designed by like someone just trying to fill the space for like an IKEA instead of it being like really lived in, which is fine. That's the point. You know what I mean? Yeah, lighting in rooms is usually placed where it thinks it makes sense, like on tables, desks, on the walls, in ways that it's near like doors and away from windows. Typically, is my understanding of it. One thing I will tell you, if you're unhappy with the light in a room and you're not happy with the disbursement, when you generate a room, before you do it, just turn off this tab right there, and that disables all lighting in the room generation, so you can add the lighting manually after. So it'll add all the objects, the walls, windows, doors, floors, but the lighting, it'll leave it out. Yeah, a lot of times the AI cooks. It's pretty good. It gets right on the money when I generate a room. But sometimes I'll want to go through and I'll be like, I don't really like the way the bed's laid out, or maybe I want a little bit more stuff in here. I'll change the floor, just a few things. Also depends on how much time I have, right? Holy cow. Sardine cans starting to get packed, eh? Oh my gosh, I'm so irritated. So I ordered 2 new Dungeon Alchemist shirts. My other DA shirt got ripped in the wash. I think it got caught in like the seam of the like washer and got like ripped as it spun. And so I've been wearing my hoodie. It's starting to get really hot here in Vegas. So I've got the AC cranked, but basically at this point I'm like, I need new shirts. So I asked my bosses, hey, would it be okay if I expense a couple of shirts so I just have a couple, one to wear normally and then a backup? And they're like, yeah, that's great, go ahead. So I expensed them a few weeks ago. I ordered expedited shipping. I ordered 2 different shirts, one of the old logo and one of our new logo, and they're not here yet. And I keep getting these notifications that it'll show up soon. And today it says it's going to arrive. And I'm like, cool. It's arriving after the stream, the last stream before I go on vacation. So basically these brand new shirts will arrive today and I won't be able to wear them for over a week. After DA is out fully, I'd love to see a character generator. Dang. That's not necessarily mapping at all, but I mean, it'd be cool. Facial mapping. Oh my gosh. So on the Xbox 360, there was a series of Rainbow Six games called Rainbow Six Vegas. And there's like Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2. And they basically were based on like a string of terrorist attacks that could potentially happen in Vegas, and a whole bunch of people were taken hostage and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, in the game, there was like a feature because there was an accessory for the Xbox 360. It was like a little camera, and it was used in some games for like, like Uno. People could watch each other, reactions and stuff. But for this game, they allowed you to do facial capture. So you could sit there in front of the camera and like train it on your face on different sides. And I had a face map of me that was just so derpy because I was like this in the camera the whole time and held it perfectly. It was chef's kiss. Honestly, people would laugh when they'd run into me in the hallways and stuff, and I'd end up getting the upper hand on them because they'd see my face and they're like, dude, that face. No, why? Because they just couldn't concentrate. Like, It was such a good, like, it was such a funny memory. Just imagine my face running into you in a hallway, but looking kind of like golden eye-ish, like, just like. I mean, you can bring tokens in. You know that, right, Runamuck? You definitely can bring tokens in right now. Hold on, let's save. Always be saving, people. ABS. Okay, so. Now I gotta start filling these columbariums, right? Whew. But the asset importer would allow you to take, say, an asset made on Hero Forge or any of the other token mapping tools or token crafting tools online and then import it. Additionally, you know, through the token shared on the workshop, there's close to 1,000, I think between 800 and 1,000 now. Here, let's do a quick math. $134, 70. So we're up to 875 tokens available, shared on the workshop. Some are animated, some are just flat, you know, gray color like an STL or a unpainted token. Some are full color. Some are like not even fantasy at all. Anyway, now that being said, I know it would be awesome to have a token builder right in DA similar to Hero Forge, though I just don't know if that'll ever be something they include. A, it could probably jeopardize our license with Hero Forge. And B, or put us in some kind of litigious situation with them. And or B, it's not anything we have ever like discussed or promised as our like part of our roadmap or Kickstarter. Now that being said, I've been proven wrong many times. Like with that, the devs, like, I thought they would never even add Hero Forge integration at some point, and then they did. Like, they surprised me with it like overnight. So, you know, I have been proven wrong. Now, that being said, Hero Forge has become such a powerful tool, especially lately. They've added some serious upgrades to their kit. I know it does get a little costly to start buying, you know, per token. There was another... there was another token or generator. What is it called? Asmodeus. What was the token generator you were playing with recently and figured out how to make tokens there and bring them over to DA? I know Asmodeus is lurking. Hopefully he's here. Okay, I've got lots of columbariums. Let's start filling them up. At least the top rows for now. Token stamp? I've never heard of that, Dream Big. That sounds interesting. Run Amok, when was the last time you checked out Hero Forge? Because like with their advanced like memberships now, you can do all sorts of stuff. Kit bashing, poses, all sorts of things. Urns. Let's throw some urns. Oh man, that urn's big. Funerary urn. Okay, let's put another urn. Titancraft. Yep, that's it. Titancraft. Thank you. Hey, Ricky, how you doing, bud? Oh, I love Token Stamp. You tried it out Friday night? Nice. So Token Stamp is getting approval on several chats right now. And then Titancraft is one that you can actually make tokens. I think you can make them for free and then export them. They're in a format that isn't directly compatible with DA, but you can run it through Blender and adjust it, which is free. Blender is a great tool, and honestly, if you don't know anything about Blender, it's a good tool to learn, great resource to have in your back pocket to understand how to at least make simple 3D shapes and whatnot. Okay, let's try stuff besides urns. What else can we put in a columbarium? Oh, we need a canopic jar. Here we have Osiris. Ready to be released. Raw. Asmo's really skilled at 3D stuff. He works at Pixar, so he like knows a lot of this stuff. Like it's like second nature to it. So I kind of want to have a palette of these different things and mix and match them. What else can we put? Let's put skulls or bones, because maybe you didn't have much of them left. Right? We could do like a charred skull. What do you think? I think the skulls, though, bug out if they get shrunk too small. Their colors... Yep. See, it went like into a void, like a black hole. It's Vanta black. Let's try a different skull. Okay, that one works. Oh, well, you would actually like it a lot, Dream Big. So Dream Big, Dungeon Alchemist is a map making and immersion utility. It's available on Steam. We actually offer direct integration with Foundry. You can build maps either 100% by hand like I'm doing right now, or you can use our room generation tools, environment generation tools to make maps in moments. And the maps export with lighting, line of sight, walls, windows, doors, all that stuff. By the way, Jack, when we say AI in Dungeon Alchemist, it's not generative AI like, you know, like Chat GPT or anything like that. It is last gen AI, proc gen, procedural gen. Our AI is trained 100% in-house. We're a team of 10 people, an indie team. So our team developed and trained the AI entirely in-house on our own data sets, maps, assets, etc. So at no point were any public art, assets, maps, anything like that used to develop it. Oh, you know it's all in-house and awesome. Awesome. I just want to make sure. I appreciate you, though. Thank you. But yeah, Dream Big. We have a demo on Steam if you want to try us out. It gives you kind of a small slice of the pie, one of our, I think, 13 biomes, the forest biome, and you can build a tavern. And then you can even export the tavern for Foundry if you want. But if you click the export menu, there's a whole bunch of different options. You can export for several different virtual tabletops. You can export digital files or for print. A lot of people in our community actually use Foundry. It's, I would say, the most popular virtual tabletop in our community by far. Uh-oh. This map is so big. Exporting is going to be a moment. So how often do you DM Dream Big? But this map here is, at the moment, if I were to export it without a border, it'd be 85 by 82 squares. It is massive. Could you imagine running like an encounter or like a series of encounters in a big, massive cemetery like this? This is Strahd level. Like, insane cemetery. I'm wonderful, Ricky. Thank you for asking, man. Have you been streaming lately? But you can export for Foundry as an image or a video. So you can do animated maps or still maps. You can set a perspective of just flattened top down or a 3D perspective where it kind of bumps it out and gives it a more realistic perspective. You can change the quality. For Foundry, I highly recommend, especially dependent on the map size, staying in 72 to 150 DPI because they actually recommend using between 60 and 100 DPI for your maps to keep the size small, to keep the load time short for your players. You can export in black and white or full color. You can export without a grid, which you'd want to do for Foundry, in fact, because their grid tools are far superior to ours. Just set it to 5 feet, fits automatically. But yeah, it's a great tool. It's a one-time purchase for a lifetime license. You can share, like if you are using it, you can game share it with one person at a time through Steam's, what is it? Basically, they can jump in while you're live playing, and then they can kind of manipulate the map and try it out. Pretty interesting. Oh, also, I didn't mention this, forgot to mention, has Steam Workshop support. So it comes with access to a repository of over 11,000 maps, which have been made by our community members and shared on the Steam Workshop. Some are themed to existing campaign settings, while others are basically, homebrew or completely different. Yeah. We also have a workshop of assets too. So over 9,500 3D models shared on the Steam Workshop. Some are sci-fi, some are cyberpunk, modern, most are fantasy. Anyway, back to the grind here. I gotta keep making graves. You're working on a Humblewood game? Nice. There's actually a few people in our community that do Humblewood, if I'm not mistaken. Anyone in any of the chats right now running Humblewood on their tables? Oh, what other things can I put in the columbariums? I gotta go look at the other ones I've done. Jewelry, some bones, vase. Okay. Done them in a few spots. Roll a book. Tools. Tools could be a good craftsman stuff. Got tools. Forks and spoons. Get the fork out of here with that. I'm just kidding. Oh, excuse me. That came out of left field. This map's going to be the end of me, Dream Big. I've been working on it for about a half hour a week for a while now. But you know what? It is the little details that really make a map stand out. Oops. It really is Psycho Machine. This is the map that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. One day we started building it just because that we could, but now we're building it forever and we wish we wouldn't. Oh my gosh. Sure. So the next damn challenge theme is border. You have between now and the 30th, the end of the month, basically. So between now and the end of day on the 30th in your time zone, so 11:59:59, you can submit a map. I love it when I paint miniatures for an event and they go a different way. Dude, trust me, that's like, oh my gosh, all DMs feel that. You could do so much planning and your players always go a different direction, right? No matter how much you plan, your players are always going to throw you in a completely different direction. Ooh, a top hat could be cool. Hey, Dream Big, thank you for that follow. Much appreciated. And the share and the like. Much appreciated. Dang, we have over 1.1 thousand likes on TikTok. Y'all are insane and amazing. Thank you for the love. Appreciate you. The wizard hat in the column there. What other little personal items could we put in here? Jewelry, I guess, could be something. So we already discussed earlier in previous streams that this community has an extreme amount of reverence for the dead. Okay? They do not grave rob. Okay? Any items left on the grave are left there until a certain day when the clergy is allowed to collect them as an offering to continue upkeep and maintenance of the cemetery and the whole property. Now, let me explain that. They give everyone in their community a grave for free. Okay, everyone gets a grave, okay? But a burial does cost. So a gravestone, a headstone, things like that, they cost, okay? So essentially, if someone's family member died, they're encouraged to get together and dig the grave as like a family friends event, and then bury their loved one, and then bring items that might show like reverence to them or something that they remember them by. So more often than not, they'll leave like an item that's representative of them or a simple stone plinth because it's something they could make or afford. Well, Dream Big, I'm always looking to collaborate with, content creators and the like. As the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist, it puts me in a unique position where I'm able to do stuff like that. Feel free to reach out to me. If you want to hop in our Discord, you could follow the link to our website and go to our official Discord, and you can find me through there. We can DM. Email, alternatively, is a good option where you could reach out. Sheet of paper to ask as a picture. What do you mean, Rev? A bowl with an offering? Interesting. Yeah, see, these are great ideas. But a lot of the things are just like simple graves, right? But these ones here are we call the sardine can. These are kind of like peasant pauper graves. So they're packed in really tight based on like, maybe their family was like, yeah, I could afford a stone headstone. So we dug them a big grave. Oh, I couldn't afford one. So we put them in a columbarium with a simple item. Or maybe they didn't even have a body to bury, where they were lost at sea or, whatever, any number of reasons. So they use the columbarium instead. But despite my best efforts to say there's not a necromancer doing no good in this vast cemetery, our viewers insisted upon it, so we ended up adding like a kind of a subplot where there is like these secret passages all over the map that go below ground. There's one under this sarcophagi here, and then there is another secret passage in the chapel. The cathedral has a confessional booth, and the confessional has a secret door. They rotate around, so you cover them up and then rotate it around, and then they go out the back passage, go down, and they go underground. The last one, this one's my favorite. The caretaker, who you would assume knows a lot about the property, knows the ins and outs of the property, because they pretty much maintain it all. They're there all the time. They clean up everything. They help dig graves and manage, grave sites and stuff like that. This is the caretaker's cottage. And the caretaker, has a beautiful home, has a lovely property, beautiful garden and workspaces, apiary, chicken coop, etc. Over here, he's even got a greenhouse full of rare and exotic plants and fruits from different realms and even, faraway lands. And then a little tool shed over here and storage for, hay and manure and whatever. But guess what? What's under this pile of manure? A hatch that is secretly kind of covered. Who would go fumble around in the manure to look for a hatch, right? I have a lot of graves to add still, so I plan to add a couple secrets in this area. Probably gonna add like a secret over in this area because these are gonna be terraced family plots. Hey Vara, thank you for the roses. Much appreciated. That was so kind of you. That's a good suggestion though, Psycho Machine. Picture of family members is a good idea. Okay, let's get in here and start putting in some more objects. I don't know if these guys would have a lot of jewelry because they're on the poorer scope over here. These are like mostly like I said, the very kind of basic graves. So what I'm going to include are things like the tools they would use in their profession or very simple bone jewelry. Interesting concept. I was also thinking like vases. But we could do something like a blacksmith hammer, little things like this. Shrink it down and put it in place. I want to see what this looks like in first person over here. Should we look at it? At least we got like almost one aisle done. Let's pop a token in there. Whoa, I feel gigantic there. Shrink me down to the normal size that I plan everything to be scaled around. I like this a lot. Feels like graves for days. Now, this size too, the mausoleum graves feel so big and towering. Like there could be like 6 or more dead in there. Oh, this is so cool. Though I do feel kind of like a halfling over here. A little bit. about fence height. I feel like I need more greenery though. What do you think? Now I'm too big. Columbariums need to be double height. No, what have I done to myself? Kind of packs them in even tighter though when you do this. Watched a ton of Game of Thrones. I only watched a few episodes, so I'm not familiar with the stylings, but I do plan the underground associated area, the next map I make that's like an accompanying map, to have catacombs and sewers and stuff that are tied to the entrances on the surface. Oh, did not mean to do that. I meant to delete. Deleted. We're going to save. We're going to save twice, actually, because that's like the smart thing to do. And then we're going to just keep adding stuff to these columbariums. Let's keep adding deets. Let's Lydia deets it. Okay, what other tools? What other tools? Other tools? Other tools? A meat grinder? Yes, I'm gonna do it. Why not? The butcher's favorite meat grinder. He loved that meat grinder. Interesting concept. I like that idea. The butcher from Fleet Street. Oh no. From Fleet Street. Honestly, it'd be so much more believable that, you know, the butcher was the murderer than the barber. Right? That being said, barbers back in the day were kind of a catch-all for a lot of things. They were like a surgeon and a dentist. They did a lot of stuff. You want the update, Alexander? Me too, man. Me too. Do you want to see some teasers from the update really quick? By the way, I'm really sorry about the delay. So for those that aren't aware, the Fun with Objects update, the devs have decided to delay the update into July just a little bit. And the update is so big, they're going to be splitting it into two parts. So part 1 will be releasing in July, and part 2 will be releasing like near the end of the year. Basically, the choice was either delay till closer to the end of the year and release the whole update as a whole, right? So we wait till like November, December, release a massive update. Or we break it into two pieces and we release one part this summer and one part later this fall. The update is so full of stuff. The main chunk of it being multi-level and roofing and angled roofing, flat roofing, all that stuff. Now, that being said, a bunch of object related features, object improvements, object adjustments were made, and there's still plenty more features that are in the pipeline being developed or tested right now, including, you know, object rotation on any axes, stuff like that. Now, the next, like the first portion of the update will definitely include multi-level, and exactly what all features with objects will be included. I do know that the abstract lighting will be included for sure, and also the what is it called? I believe the object brush, the custom object brush, will be included as well. I'm not sure if decal will make the cut for the launch, because there's some features they want to put into it that aren't finished, and also there's some bugs in it that they haven't fixed yet. It has a struggle with like round surfaces. Problem is, Alexander, I've got people on the other chats who do want to see it. I think was one of my favorite things I've done with some of these graves is connected ones like these, where it's like a simple, like the two poles with a rope between them to signify like a married couple. Let's look at some fun with object teasers. So floor switching. Good question, Chronicle Move. I would love it if Glock objects are going to be in the next update, but I don't know for sure if it will be in it or not. I've seen it on the roadmap, but I haven't seen any development towards it, so I don't know if it's being done or not. A lot of times they'll add features in a list, like a dream list, and then they'll start pushing away at the, like working on the ones that are the most practical and viable to make, or ones that they want to focus on because community interest. So in this clip, you see transitioning between floors, which can be done one of two ways: the new UI element you see up here, or you can transition between floors using the plus or minus key on your keyboard. So if you only have one room present, one floor, where you can draw in the rooms. When you add a new level, it kind of looks like this, depending on the shape of the room below it. And then at this point, you can use the room tool and then draw in new rooms, hallways, etc. Or cut away spaces to make space for a stair. Very excited for the transitioning between floors and adding new floors. As you can see, there's a balcony here. There's a stairway between the levels. So Dungeon Alchemist is a map-making tool, not a virtual tabletop. You would use Dungeon Alchemist maps in, say, like Foundry, right? And then you would use like a module, like Monk's Active Tiles. If a player went into a stairway, then it would transfer them to the next map or the next scene automatically. So Dungeon Alchemist will allow you to build the map in full 3D so you have a better grasp and understanding of the space, make sure the space fits together better or right. And then when you export it, each level will export as a separate scene. So floor 1 will be, you know, one export, floor 2 will be another, floor 3 another. Can you make a gallery type of section? What do you mean, like a museum or something, or like an art museum? I'll be honest with you, it's definitely possible to do that already in Dungeon Alchemist, but a multi-floor gallery would be amazing. And I'll tell you why I believe in that, because I have a gallery on the workshop, the Damn Challenge gallery, and it's already so full of entries and so big, making it any bigger, the map is almost impossible for most people to open. So essentially this map here, I'll open it really quick, is just a ton, is every winning map for the Dam Challenge map making contest we host every 2 weeks up until about 4 months ago. Yeah, you can do that. You'll be able to do, yes, mezzanines, balconies, etc. Yeah, no worries, Chronicle Move. I wish I had a better answer. Like, a lot of times I wish I had, like, the exact answer for you or a timeline, you know, when stuff like that comes up. But like I said, I have seen it on the menu in the back end where they're talking about it, like they want to work on it, but they haven't really come up with a conclusion as to how to address it effectively. The other concern is basically they want to keep the UI very simple, and adding new elements like a lock button, things like that, starts cluttering it up. So they got to come up with an effective way to do it. When you said gallery, I thought, man, yeah, you can make a gallery. This is our Dam Challenge, is our ongoing map making contest. It's essentially every 2 weeks, we pick a new theme, encourage our viewers to make a map. Dream big, like this map here, all of these rooms would block out line of sight, and the lighting in the rooms would be independent from the lighting outside of it, other than this walkway where the doorway is and it can be seen in. So yeah, when you make rooms in Dungeon Alchemist using the room tool specifically, the room tool will draw out rooms and structures that add lighting, line of sight, walls, windows, doors, etc. automatically into Foundry. Outside of that space, if you add lighting, it still exports the lighting too, but yeah, keep that in mind. One thing I like about this is every one of the maps here, I put a QR code on the outside. These are functional and they go right to the map on the Steam Workshop. So you can walk through the gallery. If you like a map, take a picture of it and go to it. Yes, you can, Alexander. Why wouldn't you be able to? That's the default way to play, is without the roof on a top-down map. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Though it is on you, the onus is on you, the DM, to prep that, say, if you're doing a virtual tabletop. So you'd probably have one map with the roofing and one without. Yes, the update will have ceilings, have the ability to remove or add ceilings. It'll have angled ceilings that'll fit almost any weird, whimsical building shape you can think of. Oh, you're tired? No worries. No worries. Happens to the best of us. Who here's tired? Raise your hands. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people just come here to veg out because it's like a low stress stream. You know, you go watch some of the gaming streams, it's like, whoa, it's high stakes, or a political stream, it's a little intense. You know, you come here, it's just mapping, happy mapping. You're on your lunch break? On your lunch break? Nice. What you eating? I'm getting hungry, matter of fact. Roofing is going to be so cool, though. Arby's, man. I haven't had Arby's in so long. That takes me back. Ooh. Man, for a while, I was like on a kick. Wanted Arby's all the time. Then I got to the point where I had so much, I was like, I can't do Arby's anymore. No more Arby's. Now I'm just craving it. Probably just get myself some roast beef and some stew and make myself a sandwich. Anyway, roofing is going to be crazy in the next update, and there's going to be lots of different roof types too. Rev, honestly, I don't eat out anymore. Like, I know that I'm not trying to sound like I don't eat fast food. No, I just don't really care to eat at restaurants or fast food anymore. I work from home. I'm home almost all the time. It actually saves me a ton of money not eating out anymore. I spend a little bit more time, in the kitchen cleaning and cooking. But it also, it's just nice to eat all my meals at home, or yeah. Anyway, it is a one-time purchase for a lifetime license, my friend. We do not do the monthly subscription thing. That's silly. That is incredibly silly. We agree that you should own things when you buy them. And you also get all future updates until we leave early access. So I will be clear, we're in early access right now, but we started as a Kickstarter, right? And we promised 13 stretch goals as part of our Kickstarter. We've delivered on 8 after our next update, 9, which is coming very soon. So after the next update, we'll only have 4 major stretch goals remaining until we leave early access. At which point we'll still deliver, quality of life improvements, things like that, subtle feature improvements, and we plan to offer optional expansions due to community suggestions, community feedback. A lot of people want to do maps, say, in a cyberpunk setting or a sci-fi setting using Dungeon Alchemist, but we're primarily a fantasy aesthetic. Gotcha. See, I'm planning a trip. I'm going 8 hours on the road in the next few days, but I don't really, again, I don't want to eat out. It's just like something I haven't done so long. So I'm planning to make myself a bunch of like sandwiches and snacks for the road. Fallout is totally awesome for a setting, right? And it is possible in Dungeon Alchemist right now. In fact, there's maps on the workshop that have been made that are Fallout themed or Vault themed. Because we have Steam Workshop integration. It essentially allows you to share assets or download assets from different themes. So users in our community have shared like sci-fi, apocalyptic, etc. This map is insane though. Very, very detailed. And it's a full like sci-fi / Fallout vault. It feels like right at home in that aesthetic. Anyway. Oh man, I'm craving Arby's so much now. What did you do? What did you do to me? Me too, Alexander. I like that as well. And I also like that if we don't necessarily have integration with a virtual tabletop, the way Dungeon Alchemist is designed is it's universal. So if we're not listing, an export for your virtual tabletop of choice, remember we offer video and image exports too, which tend to support a lot of virtual tabletops because they usually support like a JPEG or an MP4 or a WebM. Additionally, we support the UVTT format or Universal VTT, which like dozens of virtual tabletops use. Above VTT, Harpy VTT, Encounter Plus. Like there's so many that use UVTT, Arkenforge, etc. Beef and cheddar. Oh no, I'm jealous. Hope you got enough for everyone. I'm just kidding. Man, I only filled 1 row of columbariums. Okay, let's get my shiz together. Let's do this. Ooh, a basket? That'd be cool. A little basket. Let's see here. Ooh, we got all this pottery. This is going to save the day. This stuff is great. Oh, yay. Thank you. Thank you for the emoji lunch. We're eating today. Hero? Lately, I have been craving these sandwiches that, well, it's not really a sandwich. That's a very broad stroke for what this is. Okay, so there's this restaurant, kind of a small little restaurant here in town in Vegas, and I haven't eaten there since before the pandemic, and I've been craving it constantly. And they make these sandwiches. It's a big loaf of bread, basically, like a garlic loaf, and they pull out the bread and or just shove it in tight, and they fill it with a pasta. Okay, so like you could have like meatballs and spaghetti inside, or like, you know, any a pesto inside or anything. And to be honest with you, it's so good. Like, just imagine like a big garlic bread thing that's not cut in half, and it's used as a vessel to hold all your pasta. And they're delicious. They're called Fat Babies, aptly named Fat Babies. Too good. Mm, 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 mm. Excuse me. Cheeseburger bowls? What is that? That sounds like it should be something on the menu in my home on occasion. So, dream big. Why do you drive so much for work? Are you Let's hear about your job if you don't mind sharing. That's a lot of driving every day. Is that just your commute every day, or? I'd love to hear about everyone's commute for work each day. Definitely do not miss that. I feel so, just say, blessed to not have to drive into. Love the roof teasers, Cronkler. Don't they look great? I'm sorry about the delay, but at least you got some more teasers, right? Everything is soup, Rev. I mean, yeah, especially if you got a blender handy. You do on-site electronic repair? Like what? That's so cool. That's actually like a lost art, man. Like what kind of electronics do you repair? Sorry for being nosy. If you don't want to share, you don't have to. I'm just like genuinely curious. Hey, Eric, how you doing, buddy? Dude, I am itching between sessions. I want to keep playing. Office equipment, nice. So like copiers, fax machines, stuff like that? Or is it more like computers, networking, or a little bit of everything? Are you having fun with the group, Eric? That's important too. I think I want to put a little lamp in one of these too. Let's put like one of these oil lamps. These are really nice. Small. Sigil someone could keep going for somebody. They come and burn a incense oil to the lamp, kind of signify their life continuing in some way. Also adds light to that. Dude, honestly, so I don't know if you saw, we had a big announcement this last week. Fun with Objects has been delayed at least into the next quarter, and it's going to be a 2-part update. So the devs were looking at everything that still needs to be done and everything that's still being tested and worked on, and they decided to split Fun with Objects into 2 parts. So Fun with Objects is going to be released as Fun with Objects and Fun with More Objects. The first part will likely be July. And then the second part will be sometime later in the year. And the thing is, the first part will include multi-level and roofing. And then the next part, the second part, will include a lot more of the object-based features. Part 1 will still include object features, just not all of them. Just some of them. Yeah, Liam, I'm really sorry about the delay, but July will be at least a portion of it. So they were thinking we'd have to delay the whole update to like closer to the end of the year, or do the update in 2 parts. That way we can release some of it now and some of it later, so there's not a big wait. I appreciate everyone's patience on it. I kind of like, I'm always looking at our community announcements and stuff through a PR lens and like assessing, how community might respond to things. And I was under the assumption that a lot of our community would not be happy with this delay announcement, and I was very wrong. I will be the first to admit when I make an incorrect assumption, and I did very badly make that assumption. I thought we would have a good amount of just at least some expressed irritation, but for the most part, it's been nothing but supportive, very happy. See you later, Dream Big. It was nice meeting you. Feel free to reach out to me, and you're welcome back on any stream at any time. Hope to see you around these parts in the future. Hey, Harry, how you doing? What you been up to? A book could go in there in one of these, right? Or a scroll. Ooh. Scrolls in a book. This book looks interesting. Or maybe a weapon. Wonder if we could fit like a dagger. This dagger looks ornate. Big though. Shrink it down. Can't even tell it. Try. Most of these things are too big to stick in those, so we'll avoid those. Always looking at the items to see if there's something that could work for this. I guess we could put like a little sensor or something. Massive, by the way. Gonna have to put it in there and read. Thank you, Atlam. Actually, yeah, I appreciate that because I am going to be out of town for pretty much the next week. So Wednesday through... So the next 3 streams, 21st, 24th, and 26th are canceled. They'll be offline. I'll be back on the 28th. So next Wednesday, the stream will return with office hours, which is held in our Discord. Eric, that money is burning a hole in my pocket. Part of me wants to just hold on to it and save it, and then the other part of me is like, no, buy, shop. Okay, we got a whole columbarium there wrote on. That took me forever. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I told the group I wouldn't expect that kind of payout constantly. This is probably like a big, good payout that wouldn't normally happen, you know? So it's not like every time we play, we're going to get an opportunity to sell some docks. Oh, I love it. This looks so good. Okay. It's definitely worth it now that I see it like that. Like, I was wondering if I spent a right amount of time on this today. But now the sardine can has got like a formation that I can follow all the way down. So it'll be columbariums and then graves. There are going to be so many graves, hundreds by the time we get down this side. I really wanted this to feel like lots and lots. Oh, gotcha, Harry. Yeah, okay, I remember now. That is right. You are run amok. I appreciate you supporting multiple channels, my man. I'll have to reach out to you, Eric. But for the most part, I have my shopping list kind of picked out. And I appreciate you putting up the safety list, or the no-no list, I should say. Though I wonder why you have such an aversion to flight-based items. That is your GM no-no. It's flying items. For instance, like the broom of flying is like one of my all-time favorite items, and seeing that on there, my heart sank a little bit. But I get it. I understand. You know, every table has to have some sort of rules and order. If it wasn't capped, I'd be fine with it. At the same time, you're talking to someone who'd likely have, you know, feather fall ready at all times. Capping at 20d6, just not enough damage. Can't you just, as the DM, homebrew it to keep going? Or is that terminal velocity technically? Isn't it distance in 5e for damage? Or is it terminal velocity? Which is it? Because I mean, if it's like 100 feet after that, there's no more damage. Just keep it going. Keep adding a d6. I mean, if that would unlock flight items for the group, I would say by all means, man, stack it. If it comes with a monkey paw to it that makes sense, that like I'm fine with it. But you also like have to understand you're talking to someone who'd likely have feather fall, who'd likely make a harness, you know, that's like the climber's kit mixed into like a mounting harness and things like that to protect myself. I'm Mr. Redundancy. But yes, I mean, I get it. I understand where you're coming from, bro. Like that makes total sense. I mean, when you fireball someone in a crowd, does all their clothes burn off? I just assume their gear is their gear. It's not something you know, that could just destroy unless you're targeting it directly, which I mean is just generally considered kind of a dick move by bird people, unless the party's doing it too. But yeah, I get it. I get it. See, like, I don't see Fireball as burning your gear and your clothes off of you. Firebolt, like, if I targeted your clothing, yes, it would burn it. But most people don't. They target the person. They don't want to damage their clothes. They want to damage them, right? Exactly. See, I'm not... DMs that destroy people's equipment intentionally or take it away intentionally, other than for, like, a narrative purpose, it's just to make the game harder is not fun, in my opinion. Like, oh my goodness. Like, hey, you capture us and put us in a jail cell when we lost our gear. That makes total sense. We've already kind of dealt with that, right? If falling damage made it worth hitting the broom, I'd blow up that damn broom. Which cantrip does more damage than a 200-foot fall? This is so funny. Love this conversation. I guess you play at a lot higher level than me. See, we're not there yet. I guess, but I mean, cantrips, yeah, scale. Think at level 20, it's like, it's way more than just a cantrip at that point, right? Like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. You're like, man, I'm just preparing for the inevitable. We'll talk about it more, man. Honestly, it's hilarious getting your insight on this, but I appreciate you and thank you for putting that list together. By the way, stream, before we take off today, I want to just say thank you to everyone that's been here watching. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there at the end, but thank you for watching me build out these tight, packed, sardine can, you know, pauper graves that will take forever, unfortunately, but when it's done, it's going to look so detailed and feel like a very old graveyard that's been here a long time, right? I think that's a big thing that makes a graveyard feel more spooky and ancient is lots and lots of graves. Like, I don't think the US really has a foot to stand on here, but most of our graves, like our cemeteries aren't that big compared to, say, Europe and other old world cemeteries. And my hope was to make this feel kind of a mashup between like an old world cemetery or maybe I don't know. The most ancient cemeteries I can think of in the US that feel old and big are like the ones back east, like in New Orleans and stuff like that. Arlington, stuff like that. Hey, Roy G. Biv, how you doing, buddy? I get it, Eric. You got to kind of balance based around the shenanigans. Dude, I appreciate you also being like open to discussing things and just generally vibing. The table really enjoys you. In fact, I highly recommend Eric as a DM. If any of you are looking for a professional DM, he does great work. He is never flaked on us. Shows up on time, answers questions, during downtime. Very professional DM who, offers a good production and good storytelling. Can I check your map, Roy? Where is it, bud? Is it on the workshop? Let me save twice. In fact, let me save thrice. I'm gonna go to browse maps. Go to most recent. Roy, what is the map called? Let me search it. Here's the thing that I can vouch and attest to. When you have a professional DM, like you have a group of friends that get together, right? And they want to play, right? And you all want to play D&D together. The problem is ultimately one of you will have to DM, which isn't a big thing. It isn't an issue, especially if someone likes DMing. But what if you get a whole group of friends that just want to relax and play? They don't want to be burdened with having to plan a session and make maps and weave a narrative. They just want to show up and kick butt and collect loot. And that's what a benefit of a professional GM is. It's great because you hire someone who has years of experience and tools and know-how and the background to weave together a story. You tell them kind of what you're after and where you want to start, and they kind of handle the rest. And as long as you and your players show up on time every month, it's awesome. I do think when you have a friend group where one of you is the DM, that DM can risk burnout over time. It can also put stress on the friend group, unnecessary stress. So there are plenty of friend groups that make it work, but I've also seen friend groups fall apart because of it. I don't know. We meet together once a month. I wish we could meet more. Roy, where's your map, my man? What is it called? I want to search it, but I haven't heard anything from you. Hey, no, anytime, Eric. You deserve all your success and more. Is it? Did you spell it like that? Oh, it's on this page somewhere? There it is. I see it. Here we go. Roy, your name on Steam. What language is that? I'm just curious. I generally would like to know. Okay, we got this bad boy loaded up. Nice. I really like the grates. You using these ones here are great because you can see under them. A lot of times people will put the floor-based ones that are like the pit ones and they seal up that area. This is a good way to allow flow, but still allow a walkway. Ukrainian? Lava, my friend. This is awesome. Sewer and gang hideout. So what's the story behind this map? Ooh, this looks fun. Little secret area. It is a good map. I like me a good sewer map, you know? One of my favorite. Like, I like caves and sewers a little bit too much. One thing I like to do in these types of maps, though, is play with the lighting a bit. Usually the green tones lend to the sewer, like, a lot. I'm so excited. I get to see my grandpa for the first time in like a decade. It's been a long time. So he used to live in town by us, and him and my mom had a falling out, and he moved out of town. He moved away. He moved to Reno. And ever since he's been in Reno, my life has been kind of a roller coaster. Lots of things have happened. And haven't been able to travel or see him until now. So, and he's kind of, getting older, and I just would rather spend some time with him before I regret not being able to. But anyway, going to be driving up to visit with him for 5-6 days and get some time to relax. I'm going to go to Lake Tahoe for a day. Very excited for that. Might go to a drive-in movie while I'm up there. I noticed they have a drive-in theater. It's the same company I go to drive-in here in Vegas. So it's called Westwind Theaters. Anyway, really excited for it. Eric, we gotta convince the group to do 2 a month. Nah, I'm just kidding. Dude, Harry, I'll try tonight. I basically am going to be busy the next 2 days packing and getting everything ready for the trip. But after I get back, I think because we know the delay now, should be so much easier for me to schedule. Because before I was thinking at any day I might get an email from the dev saying, hey, we're this close to update and we need a trailer and we need all this stuff. So it's kind of like on edge, and I didn't really know my schedule until now. Eric, dude, no, you get it. I think they'll get hooked and want to play more. Most of the group is pretty much into it. I just think now that we got the new player, we'll give them a little time to get situated, and who knows, maybe we'll get into 2 a month. Also, dude, this thing, I can show this in here, right? I don't think you have any of your other viewers in here, do you? And if you did, they probably gotten it. So Eric sent me this dope cipher thing that I don't really understand yet, but I believe he's trying to tell me to drink my Ovaltine. So it essentially has this little area where you can line up like symbols and letters to, I'm assuming, get some sort of cryptic message. This is a very cool interactive gift from a DM. I'm very appreciative of it. I am curious how this will work because, oh, nice. Expect the use of it next session. Interesting. So, do you have a laser cutter and you cut these yourself and design them yourself, or did you reach out to a third party and commission them? Nice. That's cool. It is a decoder ring. It literally is a decoder ring. When I got this in the mail, I DM'd Eric and I was like, always drink my Ovaltine. What is this? And that's like an old school reference to Christmas Story, which is, you know, an iconic Christmas movie that's pretty much on TV on repeat all winter during the holidays and stuff on like TNT and TBS. But this is great, man. This is cool. Which laser etcher or cutter are you using? Is it like a Glowforge or something like that? Dude, Eric, I won't lie. I may have considered convincing the group to buy an airship. Because we like totally have enough money for it. And I kind of figured we're on this island. Maybe it's a good way to kind of get moving. It's a Mecpow 10-watt leather wood acrylic. Nice. I have a laser cutter or like etcher, but mine doesn't cut. It only etches. And that's my biggest regret. But I may end up like upgrading eventually. I've been kind of waiting for the prices of them to come down, and they have been, just slowly but surely. Okay, what did you say about this, Roy? Giant rats were found in the sewers. The group goes out of the way to figure out where they appeared and the reason for the experiments of one of the scientists who works under the cover of bandits, who's also a secret temp, i.e. the location where the rats live. Nice. I like it. I like it. I think your players will like it too, my friend. Fantastic work. Fortunately, I've got to wrap up the stream because we are now 20 past the hour. So thank you everyone for watching. Sorry I ran a little long today. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you all so very, very much. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is available on Steam to try before you buy with a demo, allowing you to kind of test drive it on your computer to make sure it runs and give you an idea of how it works. Additionally, we are available on Steam in early access, a one-time purchase for a lifetime license that includes all past and future stretch goal updates from our Kickstarter until we leave early access, and then feature and hot fixes and quality of life improvements beyond that. Thank you everyone for participating. I appreciate you all so very, very much. We'll see you next time. I give a damn. Mac out. Bye. I'm going to run a quick Dungeon Alchemist themed ad made by our friends over at OneForAll/Deerstalker Pictures. And then we will be ending the stream. Remember, it is a Dungeon Alchemist themed ad, so don't nobody go nowhere. Hey, see you, Charu. Safe travels to you.
You stand before the long, dark road to the fabled realm of Goyak-Ta, and before
Who do we see?
I don't know, a goblin.
I kill him.
But before she does, I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to know the goblin's name.
Hi, my name is Woblin.
Where do you live there, Woblin?
I don't think that's relevant.
Well, but I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to seek the goblin's abode.
Clever. Find family. Kill entire bloodline. I like it.
Seriously, we're doing this? Okay, well, won't be needing that anymore, will I?
Ever get caught by your players with your pants down? Dungeon Alchemist lets you create wonderful maps for any encounter in seconds.
Oh, Woblin, that's a very impressive cheese collection you've got there.
Yeah, it is quite impressive, yes. But you know what's more impressive? This map I have to the fabled realm of Goyak-Ta. Please take it and leave. Close the door behind you.
Mr. Woblin, I cannot help but notice that you have a secret tunnel underneath your cabinet. Care to explain?
Download Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered mapmaker, on Steam today.
All right. Thank you for watching, everyone. Appreciate you so very, very much. We'll see you next time. I give a damn. Mac out. Bye.